guys, so I'm back and today I'm going to be doing a review and demo wear test kind of thing for the Wet n Wild for the Wet n Wild Photo Focus line. I picked up the foundation as well as the setting spray and concealer. And the powder, the pressed powder, which I think I'll show you later. I've already finished all my makeup and I honestly don't know where I put it, but I've got most of the line here to show you today. So if you're interested in seeing how this wears and performs throughout me going on a date and how it initially applies and my thoughts, just keep on watching. Today we are testing the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. This is it right here. I have it in the shade Nude Ivory, which is one of the light to mid shades. It was actually the lightest one they had at the Walgreens I picked this up at. But on their website they actually have 18 different shades, or 17 different shades ranging from porcelain to mahogany. So it's a huge shade range for such an affordable brand, which I'm super excited about. It does retail for $5.99 on their website. I think I picked it up for $4.99 at Walgreens. We are going to test the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder Compact that was released in the same line as the foundation. And I have mine in the shade Warm Light. Warm Light is the lightest powder shade in the range. It looks like there is 8 or 9 different shades in the range, ranging from the shade Warm Light, which I have right here, to the shade Cocoa, which looks to be a fairly deep powder. So again, I think it's to complement the range of the foundation shades. And online this sells for $4.99, and again you can get it for half off different places, or buy one get one half off. I'm also going to be testing the concealer, which comes in a few less shades than the foundation. I have mine in the shade Light Ivory, and then I have the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Setting Spray, which is in a small bottle here. It comes with 1.52 ounces, and all of this line is cruelty free, which I know a lot of people out there are really looking forward to that and want to see how the new cruelty free makeup from Wet n Wild performs. Again, you can get this on their website, or you can go to most drugstores like Walmart, Target, Walgreens, and CVS, I think, are the ones that I usually go to for it that have it. So we're going to start today with the foundation first. The lid, it's like a screw-off lid. Oh wow. Sorry, it's really watery. Like, whoa, insanely liquidy. And you can barely tell, but it's on a really thin spatula here. Like, really thin. And I am filming with a new camera lens that's supposed to be more quiet. It's also a different size. So that's really random to throw in here, but if you hear a noise or the lighting looks different, that's probably why. The plastic feels really kind of cheap, I'm not gonna lie. I was hoping, since I knew this was a spatula foundation, that it was gonna be more of a soft spatula, almost like a concealer doe foot. But this is a hard, thin plastic, so we shall see how this goes. I think I'm gonna start with this half of my face, and I think I want to use my sponge first, so we're going to go in with the sponge. I'm just going to start by dotting this around my face. I think we'll start with that area and just kind of blend this in. Oh wow, the shade matches me fairly well, it looks like, in person. Actually, maybe a smidge dark. I don't know. We're going to keep applying it to see here. I do think my sponge absorbed a lot of that, though. Like I said, when I opened the container, super watery. I haven't tried this yet, by the way. Gosh, I hate this spatula, though. I really do. The spatula feels really cheap, and I know they're supposed to be an affordable brand, so that kind of comes with the territory, but at the same time, I feel like I've had cheaper products with doe foot applicators that feel better when you're putting it on the face. Which it didn't really say on the website if you're supposed to apply with the spatula, but I'm assuming if they give you the spatula, that's how you're supposed to do it. So as you can see, on this half of my face, with the sponge. It's pretty, I'd say light to medium coverage. It's really not anywhere close to full coverage. It looks more like skin, as if you were just trying to get the look of skin. It did set really fast. It became kind of hard to blend out as I was going along. So you may want to work in sections instead of doing what I just did and applying it all over. But I'm going to go ahead and apply some up here. I do like the way it's spread in with the sponge. I like the finish. It's more of like a natural, like a satin matte. It's not really like so matte that it looks fake or heavy or cakey, whatever words you want to use. I'm just trying to work really fast to like blend this in because it is setting really fast. And you can tell even now, just getting up to the edge of my forehead, I'm having to kind of rub with the sponge. It's becoming harder to blend this in. A little does go a long way for your first layer though. I didn't really have to pile it on. And I have a lot of redness to my skin, so for me to say that, that's a pretty big compliment. Okay, my towel is like coming off. I'm gonna go ahead and take this down. Ugh. Let my hair air dry here. Woo! I'm free! Okay, so anyway, as you can see, this is like the first layer on this side of my face without using a brush. It was just using a sponge. So that's kind of what it looks like in comparison to the side here that it kind of has some on it. But that's mostly because I was using too much. And I'm going to do the rest of this side with the brush. I think I'm going to go ahead and use a flat top kabuki. It's one of those dual-ended brush sets from Sephora that I picked up a while back. So I'm just going to dot this around. My favorite way to apply foundation with a brush is definitely a flat top. I have used stippling brushes in the past, and I've used like fluffier brushes, but for me, if it's a liquid and I'm using a brush, I usually prefer a flat top. My favorite way to use a brush though for foundation is if it's like a cream foundation, because it's thicker and it can pick up the dense product. Wow, it blended out a lot faster with the brush, I think, than the sponge. Even though it's set just as fast. I am feeling a little streaky, like under my eyes. I don't know if you all can tell, like under the eyes, how kind of streaky that looks. So I am gonna, I think, going over it a little more with the sponge. I do have some acne kind of popping up that's been a problem for like the past week. So I'm going to, sorry, I'm trying to adjust my light here. So I'm going to go over that again, just to kind of see if I can get any more coverage from this. Let's see what we can do. And again, sponge this time, not the brush, just because this was so liquidy that it did make it look a little streaky. Not saying you can't get away with it, but I would kind of, if you don't have a sponge, I would just kind of smooth it out with my fingers to get rid of the streaks. So I'm just kind of going in here with a little bit more just to see how much I can build this up. Because like I said, right now we're sitting at light to the verge of medium coverage, and I usually prefer a medium to full. So I'm trying to see what I can get out of this puppy. I do like that it's not super matte and not super dewy. I tend to fluctuate between matte and dewy foundations because I have mostly really dry skin with a few problem combo areas, and my skin is very sensitive and it gets dry in the winter. So I like that it's not straight matte. I like that it's more of a skin look. I think this would be a really good, finish for every day. Like you can kind of see it glowing just a little bit, like not a whole lot, and it's not because I'm oily right now or anything, and I did let my primer and everything set. So just building it up on that side, I see a little bit more coverage, like you can see some more redness poking through on this side than you do this side, but not an insane amount. I do think the most you're going to get out of this is medium. I don't think it's going to be buildable enough to get to full. Just, I think honestly it has to do partly with the consistency of how watery it is and how thin it spreads out. It does smell kind of nasty. Sorry, I just smelled my sponge. I guess I should smell. And it's kind of messy. Like you can see it's already getting all over the lid here. I do think they were trying to go with like the sleek, professional looking black packaging, but it kind of has backfired considering how liquidy this is with the spatula. It just kind of ran down and got everywhere. But the product itself, does it have a... Whew, yeah, it's a pretty chemical smell. Like, you're gonna get high off the fumes if you're messing with this too much. I didn't really notice it too much when I was spraying it out on my face. I think it's because it happened to set so fast, like the smell kind of went away as it dried down. So that's a good thing. I am just kind of going over a few little trouble areas here and blending them out with my sponge. And if I touch it, it feels a little tacky to the touch, which I do not like. I do like, though, that now that it is set down, it almost just feels like nothing is there. Like, I don't feel like I have a heavy foundation on, which for me, especially for everyday, is a plus. I love having foundations that feel like skin and you don't feel weighed down. So here's the powder. This is what it looks like. If you open it, it's like a little dome kind of shape in there. Ooh, and to the finger it feels really smooth. And it is tinted. I'm going to go in with a Sonia Kashuk fluffy brush from one of their holiday sets. It's tapered. I like it to get under the eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and set my whole face. Not whole face. I'm going to set everywhere except the areas I'm going to put concealer. So I'm pretty much just going to set these areas of my face. But it's a first date. I feel like I should look a little more natural. I'll bring out my crazy makeup on them later. It's like once I reel them in and they think I'm normal, that's when I'll start wearing like purple lipstick and crap. So the powder itself is not adding a lot of coverage. Honestly, I can kind of feel it as I'm applying it. Like I can feel the tackiness of the foundation still while I'm putting a powder over it to set. So we're gonna have to see like to the touch if this feels any different after applying the powder, because now it's got me a little concerned. I am going to go ahead and go over my eyes though, because I can already tell this is creasing like right there. Super bad creasing in my eye socket. Go ahead and touch. It's still feeling a little tacky. I'm going to try a fluffier brush. Like maybe something a little more like this one. And this brush is just a fluffier brush from Lash Bunny Cosmetics. Maybe it will distribute my powder a little better, or I can just keep trying to build it up because I haven't gone in with a blusher bronzer yet. Maybe that'll help with some of the tackiness. I'm just kind of picking up loads of this at this point. I'm not even taking the time to take off the excess because I'm really trying to get that tackiness down. I don't like reaching up and feeling that. No one wants to reach up on their face and feel that tackiness from a foundation. That's a little better. Now that I've kind of gone ham, gone to town with this powder, it's feeling a lot better now. I do think for the price, considering the problems, I mean, I've had better things from the drugstore, but they're usually more expensive. So considering the price and the fact that I got these on sale, I'm pretty happy with how it feels at the moment. I'll go ahead and go in with this concealer. The shade that I got, in the picture they're using it to highlight, like the little demo on the back. They're using it to highlight this girl's face here. I don't know if it's going to be light enough to highlight my face, considering how pale I am. Putting it on my wrist there, I can tell it's going to have a little bit of brightening properties. It's actually got a little more of a yellow tone to it. So I am just going to take this, and it's a regular applicator, thank goodness. It's just a doe foot, fuzzy doe foot. I was worried it was going to be like the plastic like the foundation was, which, gosh, I hate that spatula. I'm probably going to have to honestly start putting that on the back of my hand and then putting it on my face, just because I don't like the way that how that spatula feels. It feels cheap. It kind of hurts against your face. And considering how fast this sets, maybe if I do it from the back of my hand, I'll be able to work quicker. This does feel kind of like a pretty thick concealer, which I was surprised considering how watery the foundation was. Can you guys like see? It does look, I mean, I still have puffiness under my eyes because I have allergies. I use an eye cream to try to take care of that puffiness, but it really did help with the darkness. If you look, like, I have a lot of still darkness under here, and it looks a lot brighter on this side. It's only like maybe a half shade lighter than this foundation, so the brightening is very subtle. You could still go in and set it with a yellow powder if you wanted to get more brightening out of it, or even a white powder if you wanted to use this like under your contour. But so far, I kind of like it. The consistency of this foundation kind of reminds me of the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, which is like my favorite concealer from the drugstore. So if this performs like that, I'm going to be thoroughly impressed. And if I can get a hold of an even lighter shade, that would be even better. Wow, I really like that. It still has the same tacky feel as the foundation, but I mean, you always set your concealer anyway or it's going to crease. So I'm going to go ahead and use this everywhere else to kind of highlight. And I may take a little over that zip there just to kind of see how it does as a more coverage than a brightening agent. They have the big bunny for cruelty free though here. That makes me happy. I've finished the rest of my makeup. As you can tell, my hair is done. I finished getting dressed. I've done everything except for the setting spray, which I wanted to save for part of the video for you guys. I did go ahead and take the cap off because I used it on some of my eyeshadow. I will say, don't use this for your eyeshadow. It kind of burned a little bit when I got it around my eyes, which was a little scary because I've used setting sprays in the past, like Maybelline and L'Oreal's, and they haven't done that to me before. Like, I didn't super soak my brush either. It was just one little spritz, enough to really make the white eyeshadow I used here stand out, but it did cause my eyes to burn, so that was not pleasant. I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my face now. I'm going to hold it away. Oh, okay. Yeah, it does have a funky smell. Whew, it kind of smells like nail polish remover. Whew, very funky smell on the setting spray, but it did mist out really nice. I have no idea how well it's going to work in holding up my makeup. I hope it does well. I also wanted to include that I did use one of the new Wet n Wild liquid lipsticks today as well. It's the Megalast Liquid Catsuit Matte Lipstick in the shade Coral Corruption. I haven't tried these before either, so this is a first impression on these guys. I picked up 3 different shades, so I'll kind of let you know my thoughts on that when I take off my foundation tonight and let you know how it wore. I did top the matte liquid lipstick with a lip gloss if you're noticing any shine. It's the Too Faced Sweet Peach lip gloss in the shade Pure Peach. That's what I used to top this with. That is everything. I hope you guys enjoyed the demo for this, and I will check in with you later. Bye. Hey guys, so the time is now 2:42 in the morning. If you look at the foundation, I would say it's worn really well. I don't see a whole lot of spots that have heavy wear except for the normal places that I get wear, which is right in here around my nose and lips and my chin. If you're curious about the lipstick, I did reapply once tonight. I reapplied when we got to the bar after we had gone out to eat, because after we'd gone out to eat it had faded to where it was really just around the edges, and the middle was pretty much bare, but it faded pretty gracefully. It wasn't like drastic. That may have been because I chose more of a nude color and not necessarily because of the formula. So I'll have to try out the other colors I bought to really test that. But if you can see that, those lines going on down there, that's not mascara actually, that's like an insane amount of creasing. If I take my finger and just rub it over it though, it really smooths it out. If I had noticed that earlier tonight, I would have gone ahead and probably smoothed it out with my finger. Still feels really lightweight. It doesn't feel heavy in any of the areas. I do think maybe the concealer came off a little bit on my blemish area, but again, that's kind of in my trouble area anyway, where I do, when I get oily, like this is the area where it happens, so that's a little bit to be expected. It did, if you want to look real close here, it did settle into the fine lines on my forehead a little bit. I do think I like the foundation. I do think I'm gonna apply it from the back of my hand. next time and not from the spatula, because I don't like the applicator that it comes with. I think the setting spray held up really well, considering how long this makeup lasted with very little wear showing over most of my face. The concealer, it did have some major creasing on it, but I really liked the color and the brightening effect it had on my skin, so I definitely think I would repurchase the concealer. The foundation, I may go like one shade lighter, because you can tell a little here on my neck where the foundation ends and, you know, my skin begins, but I blended it so far down that it wasn't really noticeable. But instead of going with Nude Ivory, I might go more with like Porcelain or whatever shade was in the middle of the two. I do think this applied better with a sponge than with a brush. The powder, I'm not really sure about the powder. Like, I had to go really hard at that to get it to set the foundation and get rid of the tackiness, and to set the concealer. I'm not really a fan of the powder. I think I would definitely pass on the powder, maybe pass on the concealer, but I like the foundation. As for the setting spray, I like it to set the face. It did a good job of keeping my makeup on, which is what it's supposed to do. However, if you were buying this to intensify eyeshadows, it kind of does that, but I'd almost rather just use water or a different setting spray, because whatever's in this burns and it smells really bad. So I would probably just use this setting spray like when I'm in a pinch or just want a quick mist and go, and something that I know will last, because it does do that. It does do what it says it's going to do. However, it has a pretty different way about getting there compared to other setting sprays. As for the liquid lipstick, I would definitely repurchase, even though it wore off after eating. I had, it was Vietnamese food, so I had like a soup and water. It wore off pretty heavy through that. But, I mean, reapplication was easy. I love the color. I love the way it dries down. It's got a little bit of a tacky to it, but not really. It's also not a super drying matte liquid lipstick, which I appreciate, which means that way it doesn't emphasize any dry lines or dry skin I have around my lips. So, highly recommend the formula of their liquid lipsticks, especially compared to some of the prices of higher end. I do think I like the formula of these better than some of my higher end ones, but we will try the more of the colors in the range to truly test that before, you know, making that big statement. If you guys have any questions or liked this video and want to see my next one, go ahead and subscribe, and I will be posting again in the future. I appreciate you guys for watching. Sorry if I'm rambling because it's 2 a.m., but I will talk to you later. Bye.